trying to add different shocks. I've got a lot of different stuff going on over here, but we're going to add different shocks to this vehicle. So let me kind of explain why and what we've done. So we've actually added 78 millimeter shocks to this vehicle. Now, here's what I didn't realize is there's actually a reason why the recommended shock used for this vehicle is 51 millimeters. You should not go too much above that. And the reason being is because you have way too much articulation here. If I tried to turn the wheels right now, it would totally mess up all the gears and ruin everything. So here's what we're going to do. We're actually going to find my little tire removing piece here, if I can. We've got it somewhere. Here it is. And we're going to start by removing all the wheels and tires, and then we're going to remove the shocks. Actually, I'm not going to remove all the wheels and tires. I'm just going to remove this. I'm just going to start one by one, removing them. That way I can get this done with plenty of room here. But yeah, welcome to the live stream, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this, and for those of you who are RC fans, welcome. And that's what I'm working on, so hope you enjoy. Alright, so here's what we're going to work on first, and to make sure I don't lose this extended hubcap wheel piece, we are going to start by, we're going to grab my bit out of here. And here's the issue is I think a lot of people expect that you have to have, I guess, really big shocks in your car to make it work better. The thing that actually works better for it is if you have smaller shocks. People add too big shocks, people like me, add way too big shocks, and they need to end up replacing them and putting on stock shocks afterwards because they are too long. And so I've jumped from 59 millimeter or 51 millimeter shocks all the way up to 78 millimeter shocks, which was not wise in the least. So that's why I'm taking off the shocks right now and adding back on the stock. We'll see if I like that. Again, if I don't like it, I might go and get some different shocks. Also, these shocks were super stiff when I bought them. Now, here's the thing is the company Injora, I'm really starting to not like Injora's products. And the reason being is because they gave me the threads that were oiled, but not inside the shocks. So I had to buy oil. I did not know that until I looked at it again, unfortunately. But we are going to be taking off these Injora shocks because Injora, I feel like, is not actually a great RC brand. Some of you guys are wondering, what is Injora? Injora is a more of a cheap RC car parts brand that makes different things for your vehicles. And one of those things that I bought from their website is shocks. And I kind of wish I had not, because these shocks are not the best. Yeah, we'll give a shout out to Owen Hughes Elf, guys. Shout out to Owen Hughes Elf. How's that for you? Welcome to the live stream, everybody. All right, so this is what we were looking at right here. This was the RC shock, and we are going to be upgrading to this one. This one is a lot smaller. Of course, I will be willing to give anyone a shout out at any time. Just let me know. This is the shock we're going to go back to instead of this one right here. As you can see, this is a much longer shock, but a little bit too long. So we're going to go back to stock, unfortunately. We'll see if I like it or not. If I don't like it, I know what to do. I can always change it. I can always turn it around if I don't really like it in the end. So that's probably what we're going to do. But for now, let's just put these back on here. Okay. It's going to be a little bit tough because I've only got two hands, but I can make it work. So also, guys, we are getting really, really close to 300 subscribers. So I'd appreciate if you guys would subscribe to my channel just to help me out a little bit. Every time I say that, everyone leaves. All my viewers leave, but that's okay, I guess. Yeah, we are almost to 300 subscribers, so thank you guys so much for getting me to where we are right now. We are at 297 subscribers right now. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any ideas, anything cool you think I should live stream. Let me know. And also, I'm thinking about mounting this shock upside down. There's a reason. Let me explain. So the reason is some people say that if you have binding issues, it's good to run it upside down. So I'm gonna try running it upside down. Again, like I said, if I don't like this, if this isn't quite working out the way I want, that's okay. I can go back to the way I originally had it, and that's all good. So we're just gonna start by kind of doing a little bit of tests. Also, so this is a Traxxas Ford F-150. So also what I'm thinking is I actually want to I actually not want to. I already did. I already bought an axial base camp. It's a 24th scale. There is a 1/10 scale, but I bought the 1/24th scale. Up to this point, I have been really, really kind of hating on 1/24th scale RC cars. But you know what? We're going to buy one and see what we think of it. I honestly feel like it's good to not knock it until I've given it a try. So we're honestly just going to give it a try and see what we think. I don't like 1/24 scale RC cars because they're just so small. It's not necessarily that they lack detail, it's just that they're so small. I prefer bigger scale RC cars. Obviously, if they have a 1/24 scale RC car versus a 1/10 scale RC car, I am more likely to like the 1/10 scale RC car. But because, because it's there, I might as well try it out, see what we got. We'll see. Um, we'll see how it goes. I might really like it in the end. Might not. We'll see. Also, in this live stream, I have not posted any crazy thumbnail for this. I honestly just decided to start streaming. So that's where I'm at right now. And yeah, so I have got, let's see, right now we're almost at 300 subscribers. What did I say? Whoa. What did I say I would do when I reach 500 subscribers? I said I would get a whole new streaming setup. Funny enough, I've already started to get there, but I think when I get 500 subscribers, I actually am going to do that. So, if you guys actually do want to see a professional live streaming setup, then consider subscribing. Because if you guys get me to 500 subscribers, I will without a doubt go and get a professional live streaming setup. I would not be afraid to spend money on it either. So just, yeah, help me out in that way. You guys give me to 500, I get a professional streaming setup for you guys. So, all right, so this is definitely different. This is going to be a lot different here. All right, this is the difference, okay? This is the longer, oh my goodness, I'm not sure if I can show you guys well. Okay, this side has a 78 millimeter. This is fully extended at 51 millimeters. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take off this shock now, and we're just going to run the back and see how we like it at first. We're going to start with just the back. Are you 16 or 30 or 38? That is a great question. I would say I am probably closer to 16 than I am to 38. How's that for you? $16 or 38, that's kind of funny. Yeah, right now we are at 297 subscribers. Honestly, thank you guys so much. I have gotten most of my subscribers from my live streams. So these live streams have been treating me really well, and I am super appreciative of the fact that you guys have got me here. So thank you so much. So yeah, like I said earlier, if we get 500 subs, I will get a professional live streaming setup, which includes a professional camera. Hello. Hi, welcome to the stream. Just started spamming hi in the stream. Is that what you're doing? Oh, for sure. Thank you so much for that comment, by the way. I totally agree with that. I think there's so much of the reason people do not actually get a lot of subscribers on YouTube is because they don't stay consistent and they don't take the time. YouTube and getting monetized on YouTube takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. You're gonna have days you get really discouraged. So you're gonna have days where you get really discouraged, and that's just gonna happen. You're gonna have to understand that's where you're at sometimes, and as frustrating as it is, that's how life is. And so sometimes we just have to live with it. Keep going, keep pushing yourself. It's gonna be frustrating sometimes, but you can do this. YouTube is definitely one of those things people think it's definitely a lot easier than it is. When you get started, it is very easy, but it is something that as you continue to progress, it can get very discouraging, especially if you're trying to get 500 subscribers really fast. It can be very discouraging. So, yes, I 100% agree with that statement. Absolutely. So I think a lot of people do YouTube. Just start out. You do it as fun. Just do it for fun. Try to enjoy YouTube, which I think is a great way to look at being a YouTuber. If you want to be a YouTuber and just start live streaming for fun, honestly, the more you think about how many subscribers you're getting, this and this and this, the more you dig deeper, the harder it's gonna be when one video doesn't go as well. Sometimes you can post a short and your short and you have these big expectations to be is really discouraging, and that's gonna happen. I guarantee it. So, obviously, keep your expectations low. Shoot for staying consistent over getting a large amount of subscribers in a really short time. Think about staying consistent. That's the most important piece, to be completely honest with you. And that's where I'm at right now. Sometimes, though, I'm going to be completely honest, sometimes I do get a little bit discouraged, and sometimes I do have big expectations for my YouTube channel. So sometimes it's better to just kind of step back, take some time to really think, where do I want this to go, right? And so, but I would say, above all, stay consistent in the videos you do. If you want to do YouTube forever, if that's one of your dreams, I would just say just stay consistent, be patient. It's going to take a lot of time, so buckle up, get ready for it, because that's where you should be. And honestly, I feel like in every YouTube video you make, you should be learning something. I'm not saying you have to, but you should be learning something. In order to progress, in order to make better videos, you have to learn, you have to do something better. So, for sure. So actually, I have good news for you. If you are new on YouTube and you have just now started on YouTube, it actually does get easier to film yourself. I guarantee it. Are you new on YouTube? That's the first question I have, because if you are new on YouTube, I totally understand what you're talking about. Filming yourself is very awkward for at least a few months. Once you start filming for a few months, you honestly just get past the part of being awkward. It does get very awkward for a first long while. I've been on YouTube for over a year now, and it definitely was awkward when filming, but I've gotten to the point where I've been able to kind of, relax that a little bit. And it hasn't been as awkward up to this point. So I think that definitely is something. It definitely was awkward. My first few videos, I had such a hard time because I did my videos to a point where I would do a short video, and I would be something like I was explaining something in the short, and I would have to edit it and do it again and again and again because it was so awkward at first. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, sure. Yeah, it can be awkward for some people. It does get more awkward. Alright. I understand where you're coming from. For me, I've definitely tried to take the approach on YouTube, start live streaming, and here's the best thing you can do is just try to take it slow. I get it can be awkward sometimes, especially, I'm not sure what you do for content, but especially trying to film out in public. I honestly could not do that. I could not film in public. That would just be one thing to me that I couldn't stand filming in public. So yeah, if that's something you're doing and it's really awkward, I totally understand that because it's something that would be awkward for me too, and it's something I probably won't really ever want to do. His stream in public. It's something I'm honestly really afraid of, and I hate doing. So yeah, if that's what you're talking about, I totally get it. Yeah, so I've been at YouTube for almost a year, and I've been learning a lot from my videos. There's always something in your video that can change. If you don't feel like there is, trust me, there is something that can change. Oftentimes we go at YouTube and try something out, and this didn't work. Keep going. Learn something from it. Um, okay. Mini bike and car content. That's super cool. Yeah, for sure. It is definitely something. Live streaming is definitely the approach you want to take as a new YouTuber. If you're on mobile, I'm not sure. They say if you're on mobile, but I think this is for any place really. You can start streaming on YouTube, and it is definitely going to take you the farthest. I have got like all my subscribers from streaming. Basically, I started streaming at 50 subscribers. The first 50 subscribers was the hardest to get, and so it definitely took me a long time to get to that part. 50 was the hardest part, the most discouraging. I mean, definitely the most discouraging part in my YouTube. The time I've been here on YouTube, and so yeah, once you get past the first 50, and once you start live streaming, it'll change really fast, and you will immediately start to see a change. So yes, of course. Um, post more than once every 3 months. I would recommend. I'm not sure. Like I said, you said you're doing car content, which can be definitely a little more difficult. Okay, I post. I post my shorts every other day, and I post my live streams every single day if I can get to it. So I would recommend to stay as consistent as possible. I know life can be when you're trying to be a YouTuber along with doing other things in life. I've got a job too. I've got a full-time job. And so when I'm not working at my job, I'm in here constantly thinking about YouTube, what I can do next, what I can improve on. Um, so yeah, if you can stay as consistent as possible, I mean, I've figured out the algorithm by now, I feel like. The algorithm is tricky, but I've noticed oftentimes I would start posting every single day. I'll post a short every day for the algorithm, and it wouldn't do good. And I would have to, I would start to wonder, I thought this was about how much content you post. If you post content every single day, you'll get really good views. And actually, oddly enough, if you post every other day, my shorts always get 1,000 views. Always. Um, I think it's a strange thing, but the YouTube algorithm doesn't actually like when you post a short every single day. Odd as it is, but you kind of need a little bit of space. As far as live streaming, you definitely do need a lot more consistency. You kind of have to do it every day because it'll get to a point where you'll start live streaming and then start to realize um, that your live stream just didn't do good. If you kind of space it out, you don't want to space out your live streams. You want to do a live stream every single day. And part of the reason for that is because of the watch hours. You will get a whole lot more watch hours. You need watch hours for monetization. So keep getting watch hours. You need to do that every day. So, for sure, I totally agree with that. It gets to a point on YouTube where people think, YouTube should be a hobby. But then you start getting up into YouTube, like you start getting really good at YouTube. You start filming more content. And you're like, this is actually like a full-time job. It literally gets to the place where you get so tired of filming content. You get to a place where you're like, I really, really, really do not want to film today, but you have to anyways. You know what I mean? To ensure that the algorithm still keeps up the same thing, right? And so I think so much of it is about consistency, patience. You have to wait. You have to take your time. Oftentimes, I would hop into live stream and try to do it too fast. Like I would just try to, get over with the live stream, and instead of focusing on communicating with people in my live stream, oftentimes I would focus on just the, I guess, I was just trying to focus on what I was doing in the live stream. So here's the best possible thing you can do in a live stream is try to actually talk with people, try to actually be there, and I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? But you want to communicate with people. You want to be reading the chat constantly and replying and stuff like that. You don't want to be just the kind of person that's like getting only likes and subscribes. Honestly, when people like or subscribe my live stream, that doesn't ultimately mean anything to me. Now it's nice because it gives the algorithm something to work off of. But I think oftentimes people focus their videos too much on subscribers and likes. There's a whole nother side to things. There's watch hours, and also if you're too focused on subscribers and likes, it's really hard to make perfect content. I think a lot of people don't quite understand that side of things, but people try to make content that's for subscribers and for likes. You can have as many subscribers and as many likes as you want, but if your content is not on point, that's going to be a lot harder to actually make subscribers and likes in the long run, right? If you're focused on right now making subscribers, in the long run, in a few years, you may actually lose subscribers because you haven't ultimately focused on the point in YouTube where you need to, you know, actually focus on the, I guess, consistency side of things. So yeah, like I said, you can make videos for years, but if you're not making videos that are actually, whoa, if you're not actually making videos that are better, if you're not learning something from a video, oftentimes I've failed a lot in my YouTube channel and stuff. I've had a lot of times in my YouTube videos that I was like, yeah, that did not fit well. That video didn't do good. I didn't get any subscribers, no likes. Like this video just didn't do good. The more I progressed, the more I felt that way. But the thing is when you start feeling that way, that's when you learn the most. That's when you should be learning the most. Oftentimes people take that time to, I guess, feel bad about themselves, or oh, I'm such a bad YouTuber, I'll never get better. This is the place when you feel like you're at the worst spot in life, when you feel like your YouTube channel is failing the most, is when you need to do the most work. When you need to focus the most on making better videos. What's wrong with my videos? What do I need to do better? So instead of constantly focusing on how bad of a YouTuber you are, you need to start focusing on what can I change in my videos. If I did the same videos from the start, okay, if every day the start of YouTube, the very first video I did, the very first live stream I did, if I continued to do those exact videos and those exact live streams, I probably wouldn't be making much more subscribers or getting much more views or getting anything. I would not be where I'm at right now in the live stream. I would not be fixing RC cars for this live stream, but I am. And so it's honestly just where you can improve most is just keep focusing on that. Keep focusing on improvement and consistency. Those are the biggest things you'll need to be a YouTuber: improvement and consistency. At first, starting out on YouTube, you do not need to improve a bunch. Those first few months on YouTube are going to be your point where you're going to learn the most. You need to take 3 months, at least 2 months, just a little bit of time to just focus. Okay, focus as much as you can. What just focus on posting content. Focus on posting good content, but don't try to post professional content your first 3 months. It's going to take a few years before you actually get to the place where you're going to be like, okay, I'm comfortable from where I'm at. Right now, I'm still not completely comfortable where I'm at as a YouTuber, but it's always great to start somewhere, and then you can learn from where you're at now. Okay? That's the one thing that I learned the most is when I started YouTube, I was trying to be like a professional YouTuber, a professional streamer. I was trying to be the best person there was in YouTube, right? And on my first video, if my first video didn't do so good, or my second, even my 10th video. If my 10th video did not do so good, I was being so hard on myself because I was thinking, I'm not the best YouTuber yet. Why are all these other YouTubers so much better than me? It's honestly because they've put in 4 more years and I've put in 10 days, right? Focus on time at first. When you're a beginner on YouTube, focus on posting as much content on as you can, and focus on actually engaging with the audience. Don't try to be in your own side of things. Try to engage with people as much as you can. My first few shorts were, subscribe. I think my first one was like, when I get 100, or if I get 100 subscribers, I will eat the world's spiciest gummy bear, and those used to be my shorts. Now I've gone to RC shorts and all that stuff, but that's the difference. Is you just gotta focus on engaging with people. And those videos, some of them did great. When I would say, hey, if I get 100 subscribers, I'll eat the world's hottest gummy bear. I think I got like 13 subscribers from that short, and I was kind of new to YouTube at that time. So just focus on, when you're a beginner on YouTube, following that step. Just try to engage with the audience. If you're a beginner on YouTube, most likely you won't be able to live stream yet. But the best thing you can do is just focus on, creating quality content that people can actually engage with. And if you can't create quality content that people can't engage with, it's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to start out on YouTube. All right, I'm going to grab the body because, as you guys can see now, I've got my RC vehicle finished. The shocks are definitely a lot shorter, but you can tell that there isn't any hangups. Like, there isn't anything like rubbing or scratching. This feels actually a lot better. And some of you guys may be wondering what I'm doing, and actually what I've done is I've removed the springs on all my shocks. This is for, I think a lot of people do this for their RC crawlers, and it's because you kind of want as much mobility as you can. You don't want it to be kind of firm. You want it to be able to just kind of go over bumps like this and stuff. And so we're going to put the body back on it here. And I'll show you guys what it looks like. Oh, that looks sweet. Okay. This honestly just kind of looks like the original RC car that it was, but it's much better because when I originally had the 78mm shocks, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. These shocks, these were way too long, okay? And I had these installed, and it was causing a lot of issues. Like, if I pulled it down too far, it would cause the drive shaft to grind, and it would destroy the gears. And so I had to put it back on the stock shocks. Now, here's a few things you can do with this. Is I don't like having to say that everything is stock on my car, and it's not right now. I've got high clearance links. I've got brass wheels. These were not stock shocks, but now they are back to stock. So here's the thing, on all of these RC cars, they have a recommended use for like the size of shocks that they want you to use. This one was 51mm. I jumped up to 78mm. I would not recommend jumping up to 78mm shocks on your vehicle. It needs to be somewhere around the recommended length for shocks. Find out what the length of the stock is, and then you can go a little bit farther than that, but try not to go way too much farther past that. Because I went from 51 to 78. So that's a huge jump. I would not recommend doing that. These shocks are just a little bit too big for what I'm wanting. I will keep them around because I'll probably use them eventually, but I probably will not use them on one of these vehicles. Okay, so I've just been watching a few videos recently on how to get as much mobility on these RC cars as possible. And so one of the things you can do is remove the springs. Removing the springs is actually great. The first thing I did when I got the Traxxas Ford F-150, which is what this is, I removed 4 of the shocks, okay? This vehicle had 8 shocks on it. The reason for the extra 4 was just to look more realistic, to look more like a monster truck. So I have ended up taking those off. There's obviously a lot more upgrades you can do to it. You can do upgrades like the portal axles right here in the back. I've done a little bit with those. Let me see if I can show you guys. The reason why I say I've done a little bit is because this is what, is because this is what it looks like right now. The gears are all stripped inside. You can't turn it at all. Everything's all messed up. These cost $70. So the front one works good. There definitely is grinding in the front. That's not really the way I wanted it to be. It needs to be smooth. It is not smooth at all in the front. The back is very. I mean, you can't turn a single gear in here. It is just stuck. So you want to be able to just with your fingers just slightly turn this end piece. This is what the tire connects to. So if I just slightly turn this piece right here should rotate freely, really easy, without me having to put a lot of weight on it. And so that I am having a little bit of issues with. I believe these are AMK something or another. So if I was you and you're upgrading your vehicles, do not buy from this brand, AMK. I wouldn't trust Endura either. I have had some issues with Endura. I bought some Endura lights for my truck, and they did not work out. These are Endura shocks, and these have not worked out great. Have not been super happy with these. These were not oiled when they came, and even after I've oiled them, they are still a little bit stiff. So just keep that in mind. I would recommend, if you want to buy parts, I wouldn't recommend buying parts from Traxxas, okay? Traxxas is a great website for cars. This is the car I got from Traxxas. Great car. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of their website is based off of they have to make money. So their shocks on Traxxas are like, I think they're like $20 for two. So you have to pay $40 for a set of four. They are quality shocks. Like, don't get me wrong. These shocks are great. These are all oiled and stuff. But I would recommend probably, let me see, what would I recommend? Probably, let's say, Traxxas has great parts, but it's going to be expensive. Axial, I haven't tried out their parts yet. I'm going to be getting one of their cars here soon. I've already ordered it, so it's just on the way from here. But from there, I will test out the Axial car I get, and then I will tell you guys what I think of the Axial parts. Endura is okay. It's kind of 50-50 on some of the parts. Like I said, I'm really not a fan of Endura because partly their shocks and also their lights. They are kind of just something. They oftentimes put something in their advertisement like aluminum, or they give you a certain like 59 millimeters, try to make it look better. Sometimes aluminum is actually not better for the car. It just doesn't really make a difference sometimes. Sometimes plastic is fine. Thank you. Thank you so much for that comment. I really appreciate it. This actually, I got a Peaky Blinders haircut. So this is one of those. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the show Peaky Blinders, but anyways, that's kind of the style of haircut I got. So thank you for the comment, by the way. That's awesome. I'm gonna give you a shout out. Actually, I'm gonna pin your comment. Thank you so much. Only because you said something nice. There you go. I'll pin your comment for you. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of working on right now. Oftentimes, plastic sometimes is actually better than aluminum or metal. Metal gears are always the way to go. But actually, I have figured this out, which is odd. Okay, this is AMK. Like I said, these are AMK brass portal axles. These were metal, and these lasted me about a week. These actually broke really fast. So what I'm gonna have to do is this is a metal gear inside here. And the metal gears were the ones that stripped. I have had these plastic portal axles on my vehicle. These are plastic. These are stock, okay? It came with this. And these portal axles are plastic. The bearings, there's bush bearings inside there. And there is metal gears. I forget. In the inside, right here, these gears are actually plastic. On the side here where there's gears that turn this is all metal. So it's kind of plastic and metal, but they work really good. I've had these for a couple years and they last a long time. Let me see what you said here. So this is more of a rock crawling truck. So this is I bought this and this is trail speed. If I wanted to, I could upgrade it to a racing truck. But for me, I really like the rock crawlers. All right, so we've got this one done. This is great. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. So I've got a few more vehicles, and in the next live stream, I'm going to be upgrading this one. Let me show you. Let me show you which one I'm talking about. All right, so I have bought yet another Traxxas RC car. This is a Traxxas Ford Bronco, and I am having some issues with the exact same shocks. Okay, this is the same brand of shocks. These are Endura. Let me show you guys. The ones I have on this are Endura shocks. These are Endura, and these are the exact ones I just showed you. These are 78 millimeters. These are 59 millimeters. I'm having issues with these. These are so stiff. Like, look, as you can see in this, they're just so stiff. They're not. They should be able to. Let me show you. They should be able to. When I lift this back tire up, they should be able to drop just like that. On this vehicle, they are not dropping. I have to pull them down. So I think in the next video, I'm going to take these shocks and I'm going to replace these, and I'm going to put back on the stock Traxxas shocks for this one. So that'll be in the next live stream. All right, real quick, before I end this here, I want to ask you guys to subscribe. When I get to 500 subscribers, I will buy a professional live streaming setup. So if you guys are interested in me getting a professional live streaming setup for my live streaming and my videos, let me know. And the best way to do that is by subscribing. Once I reach 500 subscribers, I will do that for you guys. So,